are you? No sort of moves or I'll shoot you dead. Who told you I was here? Who sent you?
I've enjoyed my share of Fallout, and I grew up in Cumbria, so Atomfall, which could loosely be described as Fallout in the Lake District, was a no-brainer. It's one of the few times I've ever pre-ordered a game and started playing it on the day it was released.
You bugger! You bastard! What? You're this way. There's nobody.
Bastards!
Now we're a close one.
The only reason I haven't been playing it in all of my spare time since it came out is that I also decided I was going to build a diorama based upon it. The 1950s to 1960s setting meant that the best place to start whilst looking for components was in all the bits of model railway stuff that I'd got from my dad. Picked a base. It turned out that it wasn't big enough to really run a railway through, so I decided I was going to set up a bunker in one corner and then have some buildings running up to it and then put a bit of action on that. First step for that was to mark off the corner that was going to become the bunker. I put this on a piece of photo mounting board and then notched in some spaces for the doorway and started on the interior of this. There's a lot of underground to explore in Atomfall, from cellars to bunkers to the mysterious interchange. This is supposed to look a bit like one of the big doorways into the interchange, but I started it before I'd even begun the game, so it's not perfect. This area was going to be sealed off when I built the hills over it, so it was the first part to be detailed and painted up. After putting some rusty oil cans and a wheelbarrow and various other bits and pieces there, I threw some foliage in, and the last detail to go in was a blue and green LED that adds a little bit of eerie colour just glowing around the sides of the door. The profile of the hills was cut into some more photo mounting card. This was glued to the base, and then I built everything else up with polystyrene board, paper and some cork. Once I was happy with the overall shape, I rolled some tin foil over the top of it, glued that down, then came in with paper mache and just squished it around until that formed rolling hills and some cliff edge. The first of the atomic piles, or reactors, at the real wind scale went online in 1950, and it was used to create weapons-grade plutonium for use in Britain's nuclear weapons. The reactors were built on a Royal Ordnance Factory site called Sellafield, which is a name that will be familiar to you because that's what Windscale became known as again later on. Sellafield looms large over West Cumbria. Many of the people I went to school with worked there. Some of them probably still do. My dad worked there, and I spent a year working there before I went to university. The Windscale fire, which is alluded to in Atomfall's preamble, occurred on the 10th of October 1957, most likely as a result of changes to the chemistry and integrity of the graphite that was used in the reactor. Atomfall's fire, or incident as it's more often referred to, may not have been a nuclear one. There are hints that it's more of a cross-dimensional or other some such catastrophe. I haven't got far enough yet to know, and I'm not reading any spoilers. Whatever it's done, it's caused much strangeness in the local area, including exploding sheep, as well as whatever strange dark science has caused the conditions in and around Windham and Windscale. There are also some very folk horror elements going on, with great big wicker men erected all over the landscape and murderous druids roaming the land, as well as the army and bands of outlaws who seem to enjoy dressing up as Morris dancers for some reason. There's also the big question of why did it bring Windscale so many miles inland and plonk it on the side of a lake when it always used to be beside the sea? I'm not entirely convinced by the accents as well, but then I haven't really lived in Cumbria for over 30 years, so I'm probably not the best to judge on that. With the hills formed to my satisfaction, I thought I'd build a quick stone cairn and a stone circle. In the gaming session, just after putting the stone circle on the model, I found the stone circle in the game. Maybe I should have built myself a big pile of ammunition boxes, because bullets are hard to come by in the Cumbrian wilderness. Luckily, a nice druid gave me their bow, and I indulged my Robin Hood fantasies. The great thing about a bow and arrow is about half of the arrows are recyclable and you can use them again. While the paper mache dried, I set about painting some of the other parts of the diorama. I'm still not 100% confident using the wet palette, but it's good for jobs like this where I've got multiple different shades of grey for all of the stone in this hut. When the scenery had dried, I masked off the tunnel entrance and then gave it a quick blast of black primer before going over it with multiple colours. Nice shade of grey for the cliff edge, and then multiple washes of brown for the earth, which I just let flow down the hillside. It just seemed more natural. Once that had dried, dry brushed some green shades over it for undergrowth, and then went in and added scatter and lichen for bushes and grass in various little places. The last job was gluing down the buildings and the characters. Just inside the door to the bunker, you can see one of the BARD scientists in his distinctive yellow chemical protection suit being attacked by one of the glowing blue ferals that like to hide in dark corners, infected by whatever it is that's been released by the Windscale incident. Up by the stone circle, a couple of druids are loosing off arrows at protocol troopers coming up the hill towards them. Down the bottom of the hill, and the commander is there giving out instructions, but there's a guy behind him with a cricket bat, which is a very British weapon and one of the first ones you get in the game. Morris miners are everywhere in the game, so there had to be one in this diorama. Oddly enough, I could only find Royal Mail ones and a Traveller, so one of the Royal Mail ones went in there and got a bit of rust wash all over it. Postman Pat is not having a good day. The last vehicle to go in was this ambulance, which has lost two of its wheels, so it's partly fallen over there, crashed up just outside the entrance to the bunker. The second building I built was this little tin hut, and I cut down the light from one of those LED tea candles and glued it in so that it's got a little flicker on the inside. To make it a little bit less obvious, I've glazed the window and splattered the inside of the window with some blood. A couple of soldiers just in front of the bunker as well, waiting to take a shot to get the feral. Probably going to end up killing the BARD fellow as well. And that's the diorama finished. There are a lot of other subjects that I could do in this game, and I may well come back to it. The map's not as huge as a Fallout one, but then Cumbria isn't as big as an American state. It is, however, very dense. There are twists and turns and tunnels in some of these underground sections that I haven't had a chance to look at yet. If you like your Fallout, give Atomfall a try. It's got the same 1950s atom punk background, a bit of very British folk horror, and lots of in-jokes from Rebellion, who also own 2000 AD, and various other comic properties. A few last shots of the diorama, now it's finished, and then I'm going to go away and play the game some more. thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and until next time, have fun modelling and gaming.